I really appreciate the fact that all of y'all are here today, because it's really about having a voice for the people in our nation's capital that this election is about. And I got to start off with, whenever you start a campaign, first of all, you got to start from the familia, the family, because that's where the basis is. From that, you go out. So I want to recognize and thank the people that are here from my family. My father, Domingo Garcia, my mother, Manuela Garcia. One of the hardest working elected officials, and also my wife of 28 years, Dr. Domingo Garcia. And my two sons, Fernando, who's here, and Joaquin. So I want to recognize them and thank them for being here. One of the proudest days of my life has been alluded to by these people was on April 9, 2006, when over 500,000 people marched for justice in Dallas, Texas. And that was a historical day. Everybody who was in that march made history on that day in the largest march in Texas history. On May 29, 2012, we have an opportunity to again make history by electing the first new Democratic Latino congressman from North Texas. And that was my goal. A congressman just for Latinos. I'm going to be a congressman for everybody because that's my life. And I grew up, when I grew up, we grew up in a pretty poor, humble family. But I learned a lot of values. I learned the values of hard work. I learned the values of reaching out to people. And I remember that when I graduated from high school, I went to my counselor. And my counselor said, Domingo, you really ought to be a plumber. Nothing wrong with plumbing. But what they were really telling me, mañana, tomorrow, you're not going to be able to make it. But I said, no, I want to go to college. So I worked in the summer construction, pouring concrete, digging ditches. And then I worked my way through school. It took me 4 years, but I worked my way through school in North Texas, graduated. Went to Thurgood Marshall School of Law, in Houston, Texas. Worked my way through there and got my law degree. And again, I applied for a job at the district attorney's office. And they kind of said again, not today, mañana, okay? But I started my own practice, was successful, and we moved on. And every time I hear people say, mañana, tomorrow, well, mañana starts today. I want to go to Washington because I think that it is unfair and wrong that people have to live from day to day, paycheck to paycheck, and not know what's going to happen. We need to get America moving again. I'm going to be supporting the American Jobs Act that's been proposed by President Obama, because that talks about putting construction back in play, putting teachers in classrooms, putting police officers on the street, and getting America moving again. And I believe that our America can move forward. So I want to talk about jobs, because it's about jobs that makes America great, and I want to be there fighting for jobs. When I go to Washington, people say, well, Domingo, what do you got? Thomas Paine said, either lead, follow, or get out of the way. I've never been shy about leading. And I've always told those people that are in the way, I just know now. Move to the side. Okay? Politely now, not before. But we're talking about moving forward with the things that are important. Education made a big difference in my life. Okay? It got me to where I'm at today. And I know that if we invest in our children, if, again, we build new schools, we put more teachers in the classroom, we repeal the No Child Left Behind, and we get it where we educate our kids so they're the best in the world, and they compete with the kids in China, and in Russia, and India. We can lead the American world economy. I want to go to Washington and fight for our seniors. Every time I hear a Republican say, we're going to cut Medicaid and Medicare, I want to be a voice and say, no, we're not. No, we're not. And we deserve to be there when we need it. A lot of us have had somebody in our family get sick. Somebody that's had an illness or a problem. And when it comes time to have to pay that medical bill, do we pay the mortgage payment? Do we pay the car payment, or we pay the hospital, the healthcare provider? I think that's a bad choice. I think that healthcare should not be a privilege for the few, but it should be a right for every American in this country. I would go to Washington and be a voice and a champion for keeping healthcare as it is and making sure that President Obama expands healthcare to every American in this country, including every child. Because let me tell you, when a child gets sick, everything stops. We take care of that child, and America is healthy. For 8 years, the Republicans took off the regulations, took off the rules, and you know what happened in Wall Street? You know? Wall Street ran amok. They took the money, they stole it. And those who played by the rules, those of us who worked hard, middle-class families that worked hard to make a difference in their families' lives and put food on the table, they're the ones that got stopped by the bill from the Wall Street bankers that bought the yachts and the jets. And I think that's fundamentally wrong. As a congressman, when I go to Washington, I'm going to say, no, you're going to play by the same rules every other American has to play by. You're going to be treated like every other American. Corporations say you're a person, I'm going to treat you like a person. Okay? And that means the same rights as everybody else. Finally, I think it's time that we recognize what is etched, those words that are etched in the Statue of Liberty. That America is a country that brings me your poor humble masses yearning to be free. It's time that we pass immigration reform now. As the author of the first Texas Dream Act, the co-author of the first Texas Dream Act is the state representative, over 16,000 students have now gone to college that would never have gone that way. And now 9 states have passed the same Texas Dream Act across this country, and it's growing. Okay? So that's a positive. So we need to make sure that the people that are picking our crops, that are putting the food on our table, that are building our hotels, that are cleaning those hotel rooms, that are making America great, be recognized and accepted. And that's what I'm going to do is say, Mr. President, in 2013, we're going to pass immigration reform. And let me say to Rush Limbaugh, when you try to tell a woman what to do, I mean, I learned that from my mother and my wife. You don't tell women what to do. Let me tell you, Republicans, you're not going to be able to tell women what to do by passing laws that discriminate against them or discriminate against the LGBT community. That is wrong. It's a building on the backbone of this country, and we need to respect and honor them and take care of them. And that, as a congressman, is what I want to do. There are some people that want to say, well, you know, this is about, you know, Dallas versus Tarrant. This is about black versus brown versus white and whatever. I think it's time that we started taking off our jerseys. You know, the red jerseys and the blue jerseys and the black jerseys and the white jerseys and the brown jerseys and the yellow jerseys. And we put on our American jerseys. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we're all American. And what I want to do is to go to Congress to be the champion of the people, not the champion of the special interests. They already buy and rent enough congressmen. This one is not for rent, not for sale. So let's move forward. Let's make America stronger and better. And let me tell you, on May 29th, we're going to make history in the DFW Metroplex, because we're going to have another voice for the people of Texas and of the United States. Thank you very much.